You're a wizard.
Vext.
I'm a what?
A wizard. And a thumping good one, I'd wager, once you trade up a little.
Yes guys, so I've leveled a wizard. I've leveled the wizard and I'm currently sat with Tri-Zarka and Tri-Awakening weapons at level 57, in the process of getting to level 59 and 60 on this class. Now this isn't a complete reroll. I still have the Sorceress, I still have the Musa, and I'm playing both of them on and off. Now the reason for this is that I wanted to get to know the other classes in the game, and also being in Alpha I'm part of a Siege guild. Now sieges were a little bit laggy and unfortunately we didn't get that much in terms of PvP. There's been very few occasions where we've actually been contested. So last week we did have a siege against Symphony. This was probably our best fight to date. It was a really good siege, it was so much fun and it was a great place to be. However, I didn't enjoy the Sorceress class during that. So on console, coming from the PC background, my movement doesn't feel the same as it did on PC. So in terms of a siege class, that's the purpose of the wizard. I've leveled and geared the wizard so that I can play this in sieges, which is essentially the only real PvP that I ever get in the game. So I set aside time on Saturdays to play the game, and throughout the week I'm predominantly AFK. Now another reason for this is it allows me to produce more content. The more I know about classes and the more familiar I am with all the other classes, the more content I can produce. So with the PlayStation version of the game coming out, I wanted to familiarise myself with all of the classes in the game so that I can present guides, skill builds, and have a look at all the information that I was providing for Sorceress, but for the other classes as well. Purely from a YouTube point of view, I feel like this is a fantastic idea and it's going to help grow my channel's popularity and let me produce more entertaining content. So don't worry, I am still carrying on with the Sorceress content. That's where the channel started, it's the class that I've played since day one, and it will be a class that I continue to play moving forwards. Unfortunately, the Musa didn't pan out the way that I wanted it to, again down to the way that the movement felt on the console, and I know that a lot of PC players that are playing the Musa class feel the same way. The good news is though that if you are a console player, which the vast majority of people are, and they're not coming from a PC background, the classes are still feeling fantastic. I know a lot of console-only sorks that are loving the class, the same for Musa. Just for me personally, it just doesn't feel the same in sieges. What I'm also looking to do is produce as much content as I can for the PlayStation 4, and I will be playing the PlayStation version of the game alongside the Xbox version. So this is releasing, we're hoping, around sort of August, September, which does clash with when my baby's due, which will make it a little bit harder to make content. So thankfully the PC version differs in terms of control systems, but the consoles won't. I can very much imagine that the controls are going to be identical on the PlayStation as they are on the Xbox. It just makes sense, it's an easy transition. So over the coming weeks, I'm going to be focusing on the sieges on Saturdays, now that Castle Sieges are coming out next week, and also then leveling, gearing, and just generating content across the entirety of Black Desert. I want to do a lot more stuff on life skilling for people. I want to do a lot more stuff on the other classes. I always release a video that's followed by comments about what about X class, Y class, can you tell me what build, what skills, what animation cancels? And I feel like if I do this, I'll be in a much better position to provide that content. So YouTube and the creation of content is where I get a lot of my enjoyment from. I'm AFKing a lot in game, and that allows me to then edit the footage that I have and put that together. So with the wizard coupled with the Musa and the Sorceress, I've already got 3 of the classes sorted. I have a bunch of the other classes at 55, things like the Lan, the Witch, the Striker, all at 55 and ready for me to start to learn. The whole process of grinding skill points before I can do skill builds though is a little bit of a chore, so this is on the back burner and I'm just doing it passively as I go and do that. Now the footage that you're seeing in the background here is of the process of me leveling and enhancing my gear. So as part of an enhancement video that I'm doing for both the Xbox and the PlayStation, I wanted to go through the process of enhancing a Zarka weapon all the way up to Tet without using artisans. And I can tell you it's incredibly expensive. It took me a lot of silver. Even getting the weapon for around 170 million, I've spent on top of that around 200 million getting it to try. This is predominantly due to having to buy memory fragments to repair the weapons. For the future classes, what I'm going to make a point of doing is farming the memory fragments in advance, and I know full well that I can get more than enough through my normal AFK play. A couple of things with regards to the wizard class is I feel that it's incredibly strong on console. So I'm also looking at producing a tier list ready for when the PlayStation release happens, and obviously to update people on the Xbox. I've found that I'm having a lot more fun by playing multiple classes and just messing around in game. So stay tuned for more content coming soon, especially things like the PvP side of the wizard and also the addition of extra classes, extra skill builds and all the information I can possibly throw together for the channel. Cheers for watching, guys.